All right, let's try this again. Hello, my beautiful souls, and welcome. I just started talking, and then I realized that my microphone wasn't really picking up the sound, and so I had to make a do-over. And it's funny because in the first intro, I started talking about that there's some kind of hesitation or something that is in the energy that's trying to block, or like there's something stagnant or something that's like has a hold on you. Does it though? Does it though? Yeah, that's the question. That's the great question. And so this message feels like it is for somebody who, at least that was what I was getting before I came on, that there is a lot of mental energy, and there's yeah, all the feels. All the feelings. You're feeling everything. And everyone. You're feeling everything in everyone. So this seems to be for a highly intuitive collective, like highly empathic, in a sense of not like I have empathy for others, but more, of course, you still can, but that's not the kind of empathetic I'm like, not the kind of empath I'm talking about. This is more about like somebody who has the ability to tap into energy, basically, into thoughts, into feelings of others. Like, you seem to be highly psychic. Maybe you don't know that. Maybe you do. I don't know. It doesn't really matter if you know. Well, it does, but not for the sake of the message. Maybe this is something that you are just like, if you're not the person who's like, oh yeah, that's me, you still might want to stick around if like there's something like, if this message makes you wonder, then stick around, because then there might be something in there for you, and just let it breathe. Just marinate a little bit in that kind of information. Oh yeah, that's already, we're already getting into the message, of course. Marinating in the information that we're getting. So this is, like I said, like a highly intuitive collective. Like, you are tapped in. And maybe you're already working on that. I guess you probably do. Like, to have better boundaries, to not take on everything that's coming at you. But I feel like there's still a lot of stuff that's coming at you where you don't even recognize that this is not yours, or that this is like, what is it even? So there might be, yeah, I'm feeling confused. Like, there might be a lot of confusion around what is mine, what is for other people. And this is like, this whole thing here, it's bringing me back to another message I did a few weeks ago, where I was in the woods. Like, I called it something like Message from the Fairy Tale Woods or something like that. And I know that a few of you like found me through that video. So I feel like I'm tapping back into this collective. And I can tell you, like, you're magical. Like, you brought with you so much beautiful magical energy. That was amazing. And we were already talking about like the need to stay centered, to the need to become aware of how other people, things, scenarios, the surroundings, like the whole world is actually affecting you. And I just heard, don't believe everything you feel. Which doesn't mean that what you feel is not real, or like that you're just making it up, or that you are delusional or anything like that. No, that's not what this is meaning. Like, and this is so important, you know. People who are tapped in at this level, this is not quote unquote normal. This is not what this world is accustomed to. Like, we don't, most of the time we're not taken seriously. Which causes many of us to hide those kind of things, to actually go underground with our spiritual gifts, because that's what it is, spiritual gifts. But yeah, like this world, they don't teach us how to deal with those kind of things. And not just that, they don't only teach us, but we are being gaslit into believing that we are making that stuff up. So yeah, I feel there are like two sides of one coin, like two reactions to this being tapped in at the level that you are. So the one reaction is to shut it all down, to just not engage with that at all. Just tell yourself, that's all in my head, this is not real. And like, this is not possible unless you become completely numb. You're just numbing yourself out, especially emotionally, because emotions, they are a great vehicle for those kinds of things. If you watch my readings, my channelings, like, I get so much information through my body, through sensing things, through emotions. And I trust this a lot more than thoughts coming in. But this is just like my way of doing that. And everybody has their own unique way of receiving information. And yeah, so one way to deal with that is just like to go completely numb. And just like try to explain everything away and just escape into the logical mind, and maybe even dismiss everything that has to do with psychism, with spirituality even. Those are sometimes like those kinds of people who are like so, like, everything has to be logical, explainable, and if it's not, then it doesn't exist. It cannot exist, because I cannot deal with that kind of thing. The other side of the coin is that you do not shut down, like, you receive everything, but it just causes this whirlwind of emotions and energy, those huge waves that just take you away, and you're just drowning in everything that's coming at you. And now I just try to remember what I said at the beginning. And it took me out. I'm sorry. Can I please be taken back in? Okay, so this is, of course, part of the message. It's okay to practice this kind of thing. It's okay to, like I said, learn to have boundaries. And okay, I'm sorry. It feels like this. The message is a little bit chaotic, which speaks to your energy. So stick with me. Like we will work through that. A little side note here. I purposely chose today to sit on the ground. I'm sitting on my yoga mat because when I woke up, I was like flooded with this kind of energy, and it kind of led me down a little rabbit hole of overthinking, and I just felt like, okay, I need to get grounded. So I did a yoga session. It was called Release, so that was just I felt like, okay, that's the theme of the day. Release. And yeah, so I'm here with, look at those beautiful spring flowers. Aren't they beautiful? Yeah, sorry. Got a little sidetracked here. But that's okay. That's okay. So, right. The thing is, I'm still trying to get familiar with your energy, and there is just like a lot coming at me. So I have to work through it. And I have to figure out like what this is about. And can we get some clarity, please? Okay, so they're showing me like it's about the merging. I talked about like there are like those two different sides of the coin. The one like completely pushing it away, like this is non-existent, it's not a real thing. And the other one is like you're feeling it all, and you're like all immersed in like the whole thing, and you tend to get swept away by like the energy. And it doesn't even have to be psychism or like that you realize this is psychism. It could be that you are maybe in relationships and you just get completely swallowed by the relationship, the other person, the energy of the other person, the energy of the us, of the being together. Also, what I hear about dreams, daydreaming, the wishes that you have, also desires. And okay, what they're really emphasizing here is there's a guides collective here, and they want you to know, like this is so important to them. They want you to know that this is not a bad thing. This is not like you're doing nothing wrong. It's just, oh yeah, I hear you are not wrong. You're not wrong. Like I said at the beginning, sometimes when we express those kinds of experiences, like, but I do feel what you are feeling. I can feel it in my body, and the other person is just in complete neglect, and they're like, no, that's not true. Like, you're crazy. But deep inside, you know, you're not crazy, but then you're starting to ask yourself, am I crazy? Empaths are quite, like, they're often in danger to meet people who like to gaslight them and all of that stuff. So you might have a lot of experiences in your life that told you, like, what you're feeling, what you're receiving, what you're getting, that's not real. Like, you're making it up. And so this is like, there are some guys who like really, it's important to them to tell you, like, you're not making it up. What you feel, what you receive is really there. The thing is, though, it's a matter of interpretation. And that needs a little practice, maybe. Because we tend to believe what we get, like, at face value. And the thing is, when we are operating in those realms of psychism, or just simply like all those states of like emotions and thoughts, and they are operating on a different trajectory, like on a different time, not timeline, level than like the physical world. And so maybe you know that sometimes you have this feeling of something is about to happen, and you feel it's so strong and so clear to you, and then it doesn't happen, and you wonder, like, did I make it up? Like, was it all in my head? And so this guide collective, like spirit here, wants you to know that it's not that you're making this stuff up. It's not that it's necessarily wrong what you're getting, although sometimes, like, we like to interpret things in a certain way that we would like it to be, and maybe it means something a little bit different because we don't have like all the information. But nevertheless, like, the fact you're picking something up, there is something there, yes. But there is this thing with time, you know. We like to put deadlines on what we receive. But like I said, like, those kinds of like energies, they don't work with our idea of time. Time is such a complex topic, and our human mind is it's having a hard time to perceive time as something different than like something that is moving like in a linear forward movement. But, and I mean, you just have to look into like science, physics, and you'll see that time is so much more complex than that. So they keep emphasizing this thing about time, that there is like, actually everything is happening all at once. So actually every moment that has ever happened and will ever happen is happening in this exact moment. So, and they say it's not necessary that you can actually like understand this in a way of like really getting it. Like, I know it to be true, but at the same time I'm still human. I'm just like, my mind is having a hard time to really I'm accepting it, but it's like, okay, but at the same time, also accepting that I'm not able to really comprehend that. But what they want you to know with that, and like why they're giving you this information, is that because everything is happening at once, sometimes you are picking up things that have already happened. And sometimes you're picking up things that are going to happen or are likely to happen, or they will happen maybe in one reality. Doesn't mean that it has to be the same reality that you are in or that you will be in at that point. But it might happen that you still pick up on it because there are a trillion reasons why that might happen. So there is this thing about, where are we going with this message? Okay, so what they really want you to be aware of, and like I keep repeating myself, is becoming aware of that you are picking up on stuff. Although I believe like the people who like are drawn to that message, you probably already do know that. That you're not crazy, that you're not making things up, but that it's still a matter of practicing, learning to work with this kind of thing, because it's, like I said, it's nothing you are being taught. You have to learn to deal with that yourself. And okay, another thing like they want to emphasize right now is, I don't know if, at least for me, it's like that. Like, lately, the energy is so loud. I'm receiving so many synchronicity. Like really, I'm always living in a very synchronistic state. That's like my normal, but lately it's been skyrocketing, and there like also not the usual stuff. Like there have been things happening that were quite out of the ordinary for me. And okay, so what they want you to know with that is that this is happening with threshold moments. Like when you are about to close a cycle, for example, if there is like a death and rebirth process, and you are coming out of a certain void energy, out of this like death experience, and you are leaping into the new, you're leaping into the new beginning, and that's a threshold moment. If you found me, that's a little side note for somebody. If you found me through that video I mentioned earlier, that one from the fairy tale woods, that one was actually a portal. I didn't know that when I recorded it, but now in hindsight, it's like, yeah, that was a freaking portal. That was like walking, and I even talk inside the video, I even talk about that it felt like me walking through some kind of gate, and that the energy changed. So that was a portal. So yeah, when we are in those threshold moments, the synchronicities, they get more intense, they get louder. And what they want you to know is that, especially in those moments, it is so important to stay grounded, to maybe get down on your yoga mat, I'm sorry if that was loud on the microphone. I hope not. Yeah, to get down on your yoga mat. Maybe buy a few beautiful flowers for yourself. No, just like do something that grounds you. Just do something that's bringing you back in the here and now, and do some really physical stuff. Like move your body, go out in nature, just do the mundane stuff. It really helps you ground. And this is funny. I brought the devil card actually because I thought I'm going to talk about that, but now they're bringing me to the Wheel of Fortune and I can't back that up. I just picked it up and what's there? The Wheel of Fortune. So the Wheel of Fortune is so many things, but what it's talking to me about right now is that, okay, they're going deep now, like this deep now, 30 minutes in, really? Okay. I try to make it quick. Seriously. After 30 minutes, they come to that. All right, so the Wheel of Fortune, like I said, it's so many things, but it's... Imagine the wheel spinning in, like, it's the cosmic wheel, and it's the wheel of our lives, of our personal lives. And imagine spinning the outer wheel in counterclockwise and the inner wheel clockwise. And so with that movement, there's friction happening. And this is what our life is here on earth, like, it's all about. Like, we are experiencing this friction between, like, the huge cosmic movement and our personal, individual life. And we are constantly expanding, we are constantly growing through this friction that is happening. And this comes and goes in waves. It comes and goes in circles because everything is moving in a spiral. And sometimes we come to those portals, to those threshold moments, and this is always happening when there is so much energy moving through me, that those little burps. It's not just me. There's so many other readers out there who have that. All right. So there's something about taking things easy, laugh at it. Just laugh at it. Because those threshold moments, they can feel so heavy. They can feel so dense. They can feel like, oh my God, this is like, it's so important and I cannot miss that. And I need to get moving. I need to get going. But the best way to work with the Wheel of Fortune actually is to just... to sit tight, but not in a stagnant way or in a waiting energy, but more, okay, just keep on moving with your life, but do the mundane stuff. Like, do your grocery shopping, go make that dentist appointment you've been procrastinating on, declutter. I'm in the process of decluttering. I don't know, spring clean your apartment, all that stuff. I've been mostly talking about chores. Let's sprinkle in some good vibes. Like, go out in nature, just like take a nice walk. Maybe go on a little micro adventure with a friend. Just get in the car or on a train and go someplace else where you've never been and just explore a new city, or take a walk you've never taken before. Something like that. Try a new restaurant. Just do things that are grounding you, that are don't have anything to do with like this new beginning, in a sense of don't push it, like don't, it's best to like just sit like in the center of the wheel, because then everything can just turn in its divine timing. And okay, so they're giving me something about those synchronicities again. Like the energy is peaking, and this is when, like when those two wheels are turning, and like I said, it's like the cosmic time and it's our human time, our lifetime that we are perceiving. When they are, for a lack of better words, like they are rubbing against each other, it's like an earthquake that's happening. And so there are like all those different timelines. I don't really, okay, I'm calling it timelines, like all those different time threads are crisscrossing over each other. And like it's, you are being teleported through space, I hear, like from each moment to the next, and you are like jumping through all those different time options that are there. And this is why like there might be weird synchronicities coming in. And sometimes there are synchronicities coming in that fill you with joy. And then there are those kinds of things coming in that fill you with fear. And they are there to be observed, but they are not there to be acted on. There's one exception. Sometimes you're being led somewhere through synchronicities, but it will feel very aligned. You will know it. Like in that moment, trust your intuition, you will know it. But even then, it's important to not place any expectations on that. Because it can be that you are led somewhere. But it's not about like the place you're being led. It's not about the thing you're doing there. It's not necessarily about the people you meet there, although it can, of course. But sometimes it's just that you're there, you're having an experience, and you need that experience for something else, or that something else can come in. So like this is always good advice, but it's even better in those times where you are standing at those thresholds, and like the energy is just so intense. And now they're bringing me back to this thing about on the one hand, like we were talking about the people who push everything away and just don't believe in anything. And then there are those who like kind of get caught up in all the things that are happening. And again, like the merge, it's about finding the balance between, not taking everything at face value and being able to observe, but not push it away, simply observe. And then on the other hand, the receiving, okay, I know what I receive, I trust my intuition, I trust that I do receive something, but not to jump to conclusions too early, not to think I know what this means, but to simply say, okay, I value my senses. I know that I'm tapped in. I know that I receive stuff. But I also know that I don't necessarily know what that means. So this is something that seems like important to get out. All right, I think that's it. That's beautiful energy. It is. And yeah, I'm really excited. This is great. This is great, and I'm curious where this is going to lead. All right, my loves. Thank you for being here. I wish you a beautiful day. I hope you will find something grounding and nice to do for you today, wherever you are, whenever this finds you. And I wish you all the best of luck with that, and looking forward to meeting you in the next video. Until then, take care.